Hey everyone, welcome to Cozy Satori. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you're enjoying this story so far. Before we jump into today's video, just a quick heads up, things are about to take a bit of a darker turn. Please take a look at the trigger warnings before you continue. Alright, let's dive in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, I love hearing from you. Enjoy the video.
It started with a call that went to voicemail. Then a message that stayed unread. Akaashi was never late without telling them. Never. He was meticulous about schedules, down to calendar color coding and alerts set 15 minutes early. Kenma stared at the unread message for a long time. His thumb hovered over it, then slid up to call again. Straight to voicemail. Still nothing. Kuroo asked from the kitchen doorway. Kenma shook his head once. I've tried 4 times. Bakudo stood behind him, pacing. What if he got stuck in a meeting? He was swamped this week, right? He wouldn't ignore all of us. Not for this long. Kenma barely heard them. He was staring at the photo that lit his screen. Akaashi at the crosswalk, alone, unaware. Someone had been close enough to touch him. He suddenly felt sick. They called his office first. No answer. Then Bakudo called a coworker, who hadn't seen him today. Then they tried his parents. Then the hospital. By the time the clock hit 9 p.m., panic had fully set in. Kenma didn't remember when he ended up back in the bedroom, curled in the corner of the bed, phone clutched in both hands like it was the only thing anchoring him. He barely noticed when the mattress dipped beside him. Hey, Kuroo said, voice soft. We're gonna find him. Kenma didn't answer. Kuroo gently took the phone from his hands and set it on the nightstand. Look at me. Kenma lifted his eyes slowly. Kuroo reached out and cupped the back of his neck, thumb brushing the sensitive skin just below his hairline. We're not losing him. You hear me? Kenma blinked hard. I should have said something. The messages. That photo. He was being watched and I. No, Kuroo said sharply, then softened his tone. Don't. You couldn't have known this would happen. I did, though, Kenma whispered. Not in words, not out loud. But I knew something was off. Bakudo joined them on the bed, crawling in on Kenma's other side. His eyes were red, face pale and uncharacteristically serious. He didn't say anything, just wrapped his arms around Kenma from behind, resting his head on Kenma's shoulder. I hate this, Bakudo said thickly. I hate not doing anything. Kenma swallowed around the lump in his throat. We are doing something. We'll keep doing something until we get him back. There was a pause. Then Kuroo leaned in and pressed his forehead against Kenma's. You're stronger than you think, you know. No. I just have to be. They stayed like that, the 3 of them curled together, a missing piece carved into the bed by Akaashi's absence. The silence was thick. No tears, not yet. They were all holding on too tightly for that. Kenma didn't let go of Kuroo's hand all night. The next morning, Kenma sat at his desk, 3 computer screens lighting up one by one. His coffee sat untouched. He hadn't slept. The others were in the living room, talking in low voices to a police officer who had finally come by after Kuroo filed a missing persons report. It wasn't moving fast enough. Nothing ever did when it really mattered. Kenma opened the messaging app. Pulled up the anonymous account. The latest message still sat there, bold and unread. DM, user 741. Maybe you shouldn't have shared him. Maybe you should have kept him safe. He hovered his mouse over the icon to report. Then froze. The message disappeared. The entire account vanished. Kenma stared, stunned. Then his screen flickered, just for a second, like something glitched. A file on his desktop blinked. When he opened it, a new message was there. You can't protect what you don't understand. His blood turned to ice. That evening, they were all in the living room, tension tight enough to snap. Kuroo paced back and forth. Near the window, phone pressed to his ear, trying to call the investigator again. Bakudo stood near the door, fists clenched at his sides. Kenma sat on the floor, cross-legged, his laptop open, tools running. He was digging through logs, IP traces, anything. Nothing made sense. Whoever this was, they were smart. Careful. Probably watching them right now. Then Kenma's phone rang. Unknown number. He answered without thinking. Hello. There was static. Then a voice. Soft. Male. Unfamiliar. I told you, the voice said. You're too slow. Then the video feed opened. Kenma's breath caught in his throat. Akaashi. Bound to a chair in a dim room. A bruise bloomed across his cheekbone, lip split and bleeding. His eyes were open, dazed but alive. Kenma. Bakudo shouted, seeing the screen. Is that? Kuroo crossed the room in 2 steps. All 3 of them stared. On the other end of the screen, a shadow moved. The camera shifted to show the kidnapper, a man in his 20s maybe, hoodie pulled up, face partially obscured. But his voice was clear. You wanted to be left alone, Kenma. You wanted your peace. But then you took him away from us. Akaashi flinched when the man stepped closer. He didn't take anything, Kenma said, voice trembling. Let him go. He's the reason you stopped streaming as much. He's the reason you got soft. He changed you. But don't worry. I'll fix that. The man raised a hand. Kenma screamed. Bakudo grabbed the phone, rage burning in his eyes. You're dead. You hear me? You hurt him again and I will end you. Kuroo yanked Bakudo back, voice like a whip. Stop. We can't lose the signal. The man leaned toward the camera. Want him back, he whispered. Find me, if you can. Then the feed cut. The phone clattered to the floor. No one moved. Kenma stood frozen, fingers twitching at his sides. He didn't blink, didn't breathe. Akaashi's bruised face burned into his vision like an afterimage. We have to find him. Quote. Bakudo knelt down beside him, still shaking. We will. I swear. Kuroo picked up the phone, eyes narrowed, calculating. We're not waiting anymore. Kenma finally looked at them, his family, his heart, and for the first time in hours, something hard and cold settled beneath his skin. Resolve. I'm done being scared, he whispered. And he meant it. Part 4 coming soon.